So first, I would like to say thank you to the TEDxUniMannheim team for having us today in Germany talking about passion. It's funny because the passion that I share with my brother about image and digital, if we sum it up, started about 10 years ago, not far from here, in the neighborhood of Saarbrücken. We were just kids playing with big camera, trying to copy the beautiful content that we saw on the magazines we were reading, organizing shootings and spending hours and hours on the internet looking for a specific piece of clothing.
We would also exchange with creative people from all around the world through MySpace, which was the hit social network of that time.
This was the moment when a lot of our friends decided to follow their dream, to go to art school, to study music or journalism. Some even decided to give up on school to follow their passion. I wish I could do like them, but I wasn't passionate in the way they were. I didn't really know what I was into. I knew that I had this thing for the blog, but I wasn't seeing myself as a creative person. So I went to law school, choosing the safe way.
And I bet it's the same for many people in this room. And if you chose the safe way, as Jordan says, it was not because you were afraid of doing something that you love, because everybody dreams of that, but because you were afraid of facing multiple risks. The risk of not finding a job, the risk of realizing that you were not as talented as you thought, the risk of simply wasting time. I bet it's not the same for those successful people who make TED Talks. I'm talking about those really inspiring people who manage to make a living out of their passion. If you listen to their stories, it's pretty much always the same. It's always a guy or a girl who decided to pursue their passion and did it no matter what happened and no matter what other people might say, and they're always fearless. They give absolutely no room for fear.
Hope it won't disappoint you, but we are not like those brave people. We are proud members of a generation that is facing many doubts about the future, about our capacities, and so on.
Talking about doubts, if we give a closer look to the ones that our generation is facing, there are two that stand out immediately. The fear of not finding a job and the fear of not finding love. Good news, to find love, you can always try using Tinder.
To find a job, it's a bit more tricky. But there are many websites and magazines where you can read tons of advices on how to get a job or the best skills you need to practice in order to be attractive to the recruiter. We even found an article written by Forbes entitled "The 10 Skills Employers Must Want in the 2015 Graduate."
If you are here today, it's to talk to you about the way having a passion can really impact your career. So we decided to do something super simple. Compare the skills you can read about in articles with the ones we actually developed thanks to our passion. The main skill that you see in all of these articles is that you need to be able to think out of the box. It means that you need to be very creative, explore new things. It involves being curious, innovative.
And that's pretty much what we did when we first launched a blog in 2006. It was something totally new. Remember, Instagram didn't exist, same for Snapchat. It's only the beginning of Facebook in Europe, and we were staging ourselves on the internet. It was totally uncommon. We were nobody to call ourselves a photographer or a stylist or a creative director, but we wanted to create this place where we could express ourselves, our vision of the world. The first reactions on the website were very different. Some people were very excited about it and started following us, when others thought it was just a game or an ego trip. No matter what, it was the beginning of something new.
Another major skill that you have to develop in order to be attractive to recruiters is perseverance. But it's so hard to show that you are a hard worker and that you are good at what you're doing when you're only 23 and all you did in your entire life is just going to school. That's when passion starts to make a real difference, because you have something graspable to show to the recruiters.
You know, it's pretty easy to create a blog. Everybody can do this. What is more difficult is to post on it on a regular basis, to make it live.
We all had this dream to become a writer or a scenarist, and we all started one of these projects on a lazy Sunday afternoon. But how many of these projects actually turn into something serious? Not so many.
We often heard people telling us, oh, what you're doing is great, you're doing a lot of stuff, but in fact, you're just posting pictures. But what makes it different is that we've been doing this for 10 years now, and trust me, it's not easy every day.
You know, Jordan is working full-time and with crazy hours, and is pretty much always on the plane. I am a working student, which means that I work during the week and I have classes on Saturdays. And when you have to wake up every Sunday morning to go out in the cold to shoot pictures, you just wish you could go for brunch instead.
But it's worth it, because we are very proud of the content we produce. And it's so satisfying to be able to say that you did it by yourself, without the help of anyone else. And all those inconveniences are nothing compared to the joy of living your passion.
Another key skill to have when you start working is to be a master salesperson of yourself. Whether you are in a small structure or in a big company, if you want to stand out of the crowd, you have to be really good at promoting yourself. And it does not mean that you have to be braggy. You just have to know the things you're good at doing and be proud of these, and also be proud of who you are.
So let's go back to our story. A few months after the creation of the blog, we started getting many feedback on the content we were sharing. The positive feedback encouraged us to create more and more pictures that we were pretty proud of. So we went from we produce, we show, to we produce, we show, we sell. Before that, we were a little bit passive about the content we were producing.
But when we saw that we were receiving good feedback, we decided that it was time for us to start promoting ourselves. So what we did is we simply sent the link to our website to the creative people that we knew. And that's when something a bit special happened.
We've sent the link to our website to a French designer that we really loved, Jean-Charles de Castelbajac. And he shared this link on his own social channel. It gave us a major boost, and a lot of new followers started following us.
After the Castelbajac episode, things got pretty serious for us. We're starting to have a real readership. People were following us from all around the world, and that number kept growing. That was the time when brands started contacting us to ask if we would like to partner with them. We started working with big brands, steering makeup page for H&M, creating windows for Levi's, shooting pictures for Cartier. It went pretty fast from shooting pictures in the backyard to attending Fashion Week in Paris. We had to deal with things that were completely new to us, like contracts, deadlines, meetings, and so on.
But it also helped us in a pretty amazing way, as we were getting experiences, getting professional, and still being students. We started earning money thanks to the blog. We had to register ourselves as a company, and this was maybe the time for us to turn it into a full-time job. We decided not to do it, but from that moment, we could consider that we were acquiring a professional experience by living our passion.
In the meantime, we're attending many events thanks to the blog and meeting a lot of creative people. But what made this connection so special is that we were actually teaming up with these people by working with them on special projects for brands.
It's also something really nice that you can bring to a company when you start working for them. You don't come with just your knowledge, but also with your connection, which is very helpful in the everyday working life. For example, if you have to organize an event or anything like that, a shooting, and you need to find contacts, you don't have to spend hours and hours on the internet to find those contacts. You just have to pick up your phone and call a friend or a guy that you already worked with.
So now you might be wondering what we are doing today and what makes us legitimate to stand up in front of you and give you pieces of advice, even though we're as young as you are. So my name is Yannis, I'm 23, and I'm graduating this year. I'm pretty lucky because thanks to the blog, I got several job offers in the last few months, which is pretty amazing this time of crisis.
My name is Jordan, I'm 25, and I'm working as a creative director, imagining stories and creating content for the most beautiful brands around the world.
We didn't go to a creative school, we didn't study arts, and our parents don't work in the creative area. And we still somehow made it. And if we made it, it's thanks to our passion. It made us think out of the box and helped us become curious about everything, about people, art, life. It allows us to be very perseverant, and we do not count the hours we spend working on the blog.
We are very proud of the content we produce, so it's easy for us to be a master salesperson of ourselves. Our passion never leaves us and allowed us to acquire a real and professional experience through the years. But the most important, it made us meet a lot of creative, talented, and amazing people all around the world who are now representing our strongest asset, our network.
We're not especially lucky. We're probably not the smartest or the bravest kids you will meet, but we have something in common that makes us special, our passion. Thank you.